Hey, what's going on? It's time to head into work. And all the boxes I got stashed up in the front here with truck parts in them. Salon doors locked. Garage is locked up. Hey, check it out. Where's it at? No eclipse today. That was kind of cool. Got some good pictures out of that. Nothing spectacular, but using these cheap little cameras. Alrighty, let me get you set up on the windshield and flipped around. And oh, a little warm today. Camera fell off. It's the first time that one's done that. That's why the old one died. We're on a Magellan dash cam. So, like I said, let me get you flipped around, set up on the windshield here, and we'll do some videos. Alrighty. Got your suction cup up there. You look like you may be even fairly level. Still recording? Yeah, okay. With these polarized glasses, I can't see this screen. Close that portion so we still record. We have radio playing, so let's get that shut off. Let's turn the air conditioning on today. It says it's 84 out here. When you get in a hot car and you turn your air conditioning off, roll one of your rear windows down a little bit. Helps to push all the hot air right out. I also take mine off defrost and I put it on vent and floor. Crank the fan up and let her do its thing. Feeling a difference, especially with a black interior. Turn that down a little bit, so we got to go swing up and leave the window down just a hair. So we have to put some fuel in this thing. Don't really need it, but it was payday last Thursday. Today is Wednesday. There goes the dash cam telling me that my cameras are recording at the house. So right over here on the left, after we get past the daycare, you see a big open area. So we're going to pull in real quick. This is our city, or not our city, this is our neighborhood park. I've never really been to it, never spent a whole lot of time there. You can see the playground set and whatnot. A few weeks ago we had a vote on giving this over to the city, and I just got confirmation today that that passed. Actually, word was given several weeks ago, but just got lost in all the... Somebody else has got a camera over here. There's our clubhouse right here that we all met in. But, yeah, it was pretty cool. Now the city's going to take ownership of it. The first thing he said they're going to do, the parks guys, they're going to tear down that playground equipment because it's in such bad shape, I'm ready to fall down on its own. But they're going through all the legalities right now, getting it transferred over, so the city has official ownership of it. They're not going to do anything until they own it, rightly so. So that was good to hear. Now the city owns it, the city can come in, they can enforce the curfew. Was it like 9 o'clock or something like that? Sundown or 9 o'clock? They can go after the drug dealers and the drug users in the park. Clean up some of the homeless garbage we got living around there. Our homeless people are the ones bringing the drugs in. And let's pop in here and buy expensive fuel. We are on passenger side. I can never remember in these cars. So, almost got that bird. So, alrighty, let me fuel up and back in a flash. Alrighty, we are back. Squeeze $30 into it. 9.1 gallons, just shy of 9.1. 586 miles till empty. This last tank we averaged 37.5 miles per gallon. Not too shabby. Life of the car, we're at 35.5 average. So that's per the computer. It doesn't seem to be too far off. I don't drive this thing like a moron most of the time, so every once in a while you like to let the turbo spool. What movie was that? Sometimes you gotta feed some speed to your ride. So now we gotta snake our way out of here and headed on into work. So yeah, getting rid of the park. That was big on my book. Yeah, let's go to the left and catch this light. What the heck? Let the Subaru go by. Cadillac or something down there. Buick? What is that? That is a Cadillac. There were quite a few people that were really against giving the park to the city. They're just gonna raise our taxes, they're just gonna screw us over. No, I don't think they are. I think that's just you not looking at the whole picture. They're gonna come in, they're gonna make improvements. It's not going to be a park where they're going to hold large venues and big sporting events and whatnot. If they did that, they'd have to put restrooms and things of that nature in, and he says, we don't have the budget for that, we don't want to do that. If that's something we as a neighborhood would like to do, then we can petition the city and go through that whole process, but this will just be publicly owned parkland for the city of Lake Stevens. And they're going to put improved parking in for us too. There's one little group, they were all hung up on feasibility studies. Feasibility for what? The mayor was like, you know, there's nothing to study. We're going to take the park, we're going to have fun with it. We're going to build you a nice place to play. Your kids can be safe. Police are going to be able to police the area and keep the bad people out. I think they're worried that this is going to turn into a hot spot for park activity, but it's not that fabulous of an area. We're not going to have thousands and thousands of people coming to visit our park. It still says it's 80 degrees out there. Once we get the car rolling, get some air over that temp sensor. Subaru's going to do here. Come on, buddy. I'm letting you in. So yeah, that eclipse was pretty neat. I've never seen anything like that with my own eyes that I can remember. There was one up here. It was a total eclipse in 1979. I would have been living up here, but I sure don't remember it. I would have been 3. I've got a video I still need to put together of making the eclipse video, essentially. Most of you that were interested in it saw my little time-lapse deal that I put up. Had some camera issues I had to figure out. I hadn't really played around with it till that morning with the filters. And worked out quite well. Got some neat photos. Would have liked to have had a little better camera for some still shots, but kind of looking online for a nice still camera that may also take some video. A nice little digital What do they call that? DLSR type. But with the Jimmy build, it's not really in the budget right now. Speaking of the Jimmy, you saw the motor went together for the most part. We were going to set the valves and get that all squared away, but couldn't get the timing marks to line up. Everything was about 180 out. The marks lined up where the motor was where it needed to be with the cam. So I called up Summit Racing Tech Support today. Really like that company. A lot of people complain about them, or I shouldn't say a lot, but a few do, but I've never had anything but good with them. Yeehaw. See what I mean? Spool up the turbo. But called him up, talked to him. Never really heard that problem, but I'm wondering if I'm not running. So I'm running a what they call a first generation small block 350. When they came out with the Vortec motors, they did some changes. So they kind of, what he referred to it as, is they've got the early small block first generation, which is like up to 87, and then they've got the later version of the small block first generation, which is like your 88s and your Vortex and all that. Or maybe it's up to 95. So the throttle body is the last of the early first generation. And I had ordered a camshaft for essentially the early first generation. It's getting confusing here, but my timing gear set was for the later first generation. So he says there may be something there. So I ordered up an early first gen timing gear set, another $40. And then also threw on a degree timing wheel for the cam as well, so if we run into more problems, at least we can kind of figure out what's going on with that. And the wheel was only $21, so I had to throw it on there. With Kevin's Ford and the Oldsmobile motor, who knows what else we'll get into as we get older and dumber in life. $20 investment may come in handy. And if one of our friends happens to need one, now we've got access to one. But transmission, the rebuild has started. Went over to the dude's house that's got it. Everything's cleaned. Stuck around for a few hours. He was just kind of assembling the sub-assemblies, putting the O-rings in and things like that. I didn't get any footage because it wasn't really video worthy. And he was having to deal with his kid and the dog and watching him. Both him and the dog are a handful. But yeah, hung out for a few hours, then they decided to go barbecue some steaks and whatnot, and I thought, I'm going to bow out and head back to the house and get a few of my other things done. That's when I did the oil change on the truck, the first one in 2 years. Come on over, Trailblazer. Did a few other things around the house. But Kevin said he's got all the sub-assemblies pretty much done. He didn't fully assemble the transmission. He wants to wait until the trans guy wants to wait until we're closer to putting it in. That way all the clutch material and the friction discs, you got to soak them in transmission fluid. And we're not going to fill it with fluid until we get the thing in to save a little bit of weight, it sounds like. So he doesn't want them drip drying inside the transmission case, so we'll soak them, do the final install maybe like the weekend prior or even the day before if we can get it slapped together on a Saturday, and then Sunday we go throw it in. But making progress. Tried to do the front shocks. That just kind of ticked me off. Rusty bolts. I had to get Kevin to help me. I just wasn't feeling it. And I need to swap over a little spacer piece off the old shock, and I kind of gave up. back was bugging me and wasn't feeling so hot, so I said, save it for another weekend. Maybe this coming weekend I'll work on that a little bit more. Of course, every time I'd need a different wrench or something, I'd got to walk all the way back over to the shop. That was getting a little frustrating. Drag some of my own tools out this time. I didn't do that last time. Finish up the front shock swap. As you'll see, I've got a video putting together for the steering box brace kit from Off-Road Design. Hopefully got some decent footage from that. Work on getting that squared away. That one I did a little bit more as a how-to type video. Flatbed hauling up some big old 4x6 beams there, pressure treated. Stacks. I think it was an international semi, maybe a Western Star. But yeah, other than that, nothing real exciting going on. Got a new water pump that showed up. Need to get that painted. Brought home a can of the orange paint so I can do that here at the house. Gotta get serious about finishing up all the bracketry and everything for the accessories. Got them cleaned, but I haven't really primed and painted any of them. Still gotta degrease the bell housing cover, the torque converter cover. That'll just take a few minutes. It's not like we're ready for it right now. Getting closer. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd of August. August is almost over. Another month and summer will be done. We'll be into autumn. I'm hoping October time frame. I'm not going to say exactly when, but sometime in October, possibly have this truck on the road. Right now, but the only thing I really need is we need to do something for exhaust for the break-in. I'm going to run the cast iron manifolds for the break-in process. I need to get the collector pipe. I may just clamp a muffler onto the end of that thing. Just break it in that way. The exhaust, I'm going to run the same exhaust kit as I had on the blue truck, the Flowmaster. Those aren't expensive, but still going to need $400 or $500 for exhaust components. I will run headers, shorties, ceramic coated. I'm not putting them on now because you don't break in a motor and a cam with ceramic coated headers. It'll burn the ceramic. At least new ceramic coated headers. I have a set of shorties, but they're not exactly for my truck. I want to say they're for a first or second gen Camaro, but they came off of a square body, so you can, pretty sure you just have to modify the collector pipe. I may just look into that, and then I won't have to go buy a new set of headers. But even if I do, I'll be purchasing the same ones I had on the silver truck. Hello, people. I'd like to go over, but this Mercury's facing my quarter panel. So, yeah, we'll just have to see once we get closer. A little fender bender. lane. He'll figure it out as he gets closer to the turnoff. Something's rattling. He's in the wrong lane right now. Technically, he needs to be in the left lane right now to keep going straight, not follow this turn, if he's going to Boeing. We could zip around this guy, but we'll just stay back here and leave an opening. We got two more semis coming in behind us. They're in the left-hand lane. Slide on over, buddy. Don't want to get caught. There you go. Turn signals on. You don't want to get caught in the parking lot. And he may not be going to Boeing either. There's other businesses around here. But every once in a while, you catch a semi-truck in here. Our receiving area is on the opposite side of the site. Downshift, downshift, downshift. Hit the brakes. Watch for bozos behind you coming whipping around the corner. I'm waiting for the green. It says it's 75 here. They're a little closer to the water. Yeah, so this weekend, back up to the brother's place, do some work on the Jimmy. Still gotta do some final work on the new fender liners and rad support. The wheel side of the fender liners is gonna get a do-it-yourself truck liner type application, Herculiner, about a gallon of it. I think we'll try that stuff. Probably do that in the back wheel arches as well. Watch out for pedestrians. .230, and we got lots of parking in here. We're gonna take this lot. Park next to the Rodeo. Little Nissan there's got a Hawaii plate in the front window. Close to the chain. Alrighty, there we are. Another successful trip into the place where I make all my money to pay for the projects and the cameras so we can put it all up on YouTube and keep you all entertained. Thanks for following along. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.